Hey, it's Matt Webley here. Hope you're doing all right. So I'm on my balcony. It's about 10:30 p.m. I think it's Tuesday. I'm not really sure. 10:30 p.m. The weather's cooled down enough that I could actually sit out here. But the reality is everybody's gone to bed. I should go to bed because I'm knackered because I've not been sleeping too great lately. But instead, I've come to talk to you guys. So I thought I would talk about a little bit of my journey, because I don't know how much of my story you know, but essentially I was a council estate kid in the UK. My parents were unemployed for most of my childhood. My dad became a taxi driver when I was a teenager, I think it was, and yeah, we never had that much. We lived in a 2-bedroom house on a council estate. I shared the bedroom with my brother because there was only 2 bedrooms, one for my mum and dad, one for me and my brother, until I got to an age whereby enough was enough. And I said, could I have the dining room as my bedroom? And my mum, I can't believe she said yes, but she said, yes, I can. So I turned the dining room into my bedroom. And if you could see the dining room, I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment in Dubai now, and our room with it's essentially like it's not a walk-in wardrobe, but it's like the only things in there is some wardrobes and chest of drawers, and my dining room bedroom was about the same size as that walk-in wardrobe in a 1-bedroom apartment here in Dubai. So I'm trying to paint a picture of my upbringing. I remember I used to have this unshakable belief and a fire in my belly to get rich, and I told my first girlfriend I'd get rich, and she said the words, and I still remember it to this day: look at you, Matt, you're nothing, you're a nobody, you'll never make anything of your life. Paraphrased. I mean, there might have been a few words here and there that are different, but basically that's about exactly what she said. So yeah, she was a nice girl as well, but that seemed pretty vicious. I was a temp as a bin man, so garbage collector. I used to literally empty bins one summer as a temporary worker, and I told my bin man friends who were permanent bin men that I was going to be a millionaire one day, and they laughed in my face, and one of them joked saying, well, remember me when you do. Interestingly enough, years later, I did remember him. I don't think he remembered me. I was only there for like a month or something during the summer, and I did go up to him and I did say how my fortunes had changed. He didn't remember the conversation. It probably came out of the blue. Probably didn't remember me. It was probably like, yeah, but it was an enjoyable, smirky little moment for me, because little bin man Matt ended up doing all right for himself. But I've worked in concrete factories. I was a paper boy. I saved up £700 for I think it was a DX266, a PC. £700. I was on £7 a week, and I saved up £700 to get a DX266. And by the time I could afford one, the specs were DX4100. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you're either not old enough or you weren't a geek into computers back in the day. But anyway, I never bought one. I still have that money to this day, which is strange, because I never, even though that I would have been 13, 14, 15, something like that, I never dipped below that £700. So I still got that money till today. I wish I could say I'd invested it smart and it had compounded, but I had to learn all my financial lessons myself. I didn't have any guidance, didn't have any mentors, didn't have anyone to show me the way. So actually I probably saved it for that long. It got inflated away. It's probably worth about £7 now, not £700. But yeah, I didn't have any guidance. I just knew that whatever it took back in the day, I was gonna get rich. I was obsessed. My friends would come round. I had one friend, a close friend at the time. Don't know him anymore. He turned out to be an asshole to me, but I had a close friend, and he was obsessed with like BMXs and DJing and stuff like that. And all I was obsessed with is making money. So he'd want to talk about DJing or BMXs or whatever, and all I'd want to do is talk about money. I was obsessed. This is a teenager. I had nothing. I just had belief. My teacher said that I was more likely to end up in prison or on the dole than make something of my life. My girlfriend said that thing that I said. My brother said the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor. Know your place, Matt. My mum, every time I went to her with a business idea, she'd tell me why it didn't work, to the point whereby eventually I stopped telling her. And then I remember we was in a caravan on Inglemells, Skegness on the east coast, that way on. I was in a caravan, and I remember telling her, "Oh, Mom, about this business thing," and I'd not told her for a while. I'd stopped telling her, and she did the usual. She started to tell me, bless her, God bless her, rest in peace, Mum, but she started to tell me about why it wouldn't work. But this time, I'd got an ace up my sleeve. It was actually working. I'd already been doing it before I told her. She was telling me all the reasons why it won't work and all this, the usual negative stuff that I think friends and family do. They don't do it maliciously. I think they kind of subconsciously think they're protecting you from yourself, but at the same time it's not very helpful. So whenever I'm talking to aspiring entrepreneurs that are thinking about getting into business, I'm always like, don't tell your family if you don't have to. Obviously, if you're going to spend a load of money on some coaching package or something, then you've got to get buy-in from your partner. I'm not saying hide it from them, but generally speaking, like, don't share what you're going to do. Just go and do it and share it when it's done, because otherwise you're just going to invite negativity into your life that's going to maybe prevent you from pursuing your dreams, which is not good. You know, better to have tried and failed than not tried at all, as they say. So yeah, everyone around me thought I was going to be a bum, a loser, and to be fair, I did okay at GCSE. I failed my A-levels, and then I did an advanced GMVQ in business at college, and that got me into university. I did well in the GMVQ. That business course was actually fun. I liked it. It was the first bit of education I'd done in many years that I'd actually enjoyed. But the advanced GMVQ, I don't know about these days, but I would highly recommend that one if you have to do anything. Way better than GCSE, way better than A-level. And then I went in to do a degree in business management, or business ad management, or business administration, or something like that at Nottingham Business School. And that sucked so bad. It was sucked so bad. I quit after a year and a half. I hated it, but I was making decent money online at the time. I can't remember now. I don't want to say figures because you'll watch an old video of mine and go, well, you said this then. Look, it's 25 years ago or longer. So, yeah, about 25 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like I was making about £300 a week. £400 a week maybe, online. Whilst I was at uni. Like, there weren't many people doing that. And I got upset with the lecturer. I can't even remember what it was about. He said something really inappropriate, really upset me, and I went into his office to complain to him about what he'd said. And he kind of, probably trying to save his own arse, but he said, what are you doing here, Matt? Like, when I told him, like, I was here to get a first degree, I weren't here to make friends, I've got this business online, blah blah. He's like, what are you doing here? And I actually thought, you know what am I doing here? And I quit the next day, thinking my mum was going to be super upset with me, and she didn't really care. She was fine. She was pretty supportive. And then, you know what? I burned my bridges. Basically, checkered history and education. I was no academic. Like I say, failed A-levels, 2 years wasted. dropped out of my degree, year and a half wasted. So I'd wasted 3.5 years in education, getting nothing for it. But I got this little internet business. It was making okay money at the time. I think it was just affiliate marketing back in the day. Like I say, 25 years ago, I think it was affiliate marketing that was making me the money. And I burned my bridges, so it's like, what do I do next? So I started just building and trying stuff. And it weren't like, when I started out early 2000s, it weren't like it is now. Like now, you guys don't know how good you've got it. Like you literally can go on ChatGPT, I've been doing it today, and ask it any question, and it'll have a really good stab in the dark at bloody answering it, and answering it well, like an expert would. Like, I would say 99 out of 100 questions you ask it when it comes to business will lead you in a good direction. Even if they're not perfect, they'll lead you in a better direction than not having them. It's fantastic. And like, I didn't even have no YouTube back then. There was no YouTube. There was some internet forums, like if anyone's old enough, what was it called? Warrior Forum. There was some like internet marketing forums and stuff, but there's no streaming video, there's no YouTube. Google was just starting to be a thing. It was early days, so I just tried stuff and built stuff and figured stuff out. I couldn't afford any software when I first started. So like Dreamweaver to build websites and Photoshop to do design stuff. I downloaded illegal copies of them and I figured it out. I didn't have any videos to watch. I didn't have any documentation to read. I just figured it out. I clicked around and I just figured it out. And I would just move forwards, and then I would hit a roadblock and I would just keep trying. And sometimes the roadblocks would take you half an hour to fix and figure out. Sometimes it'd take you 3 months. But I just kept going, because what was my other option? Go get a job? University dropout, no A-levels, like what kind of job was I going to get? Like, I mean, those were the jobs I did get. Bloody furniture delivery guy, concrete factory guy, bin man guy, work behind a bar guy. That was what I did, I wasn't blessed educationally. I wasn't blessed with contacts. I wasn't blessed with guidance or mentorship. I was just me, some councility college dropout, trying to figure out life in a backdrop of a working class town. And working class in the UK actually tends to mean not working. It don't usually mean people with jobs. It usually means people without jobs. I don't know why it's called working class when most people that are working class don't have jobs, but it basically, I lived in a ex-miners town filled with working class people, high unemployment, decades of decline. It's been declining ever since. Disastrous town that I grew up in. Bless. Like, I've still got some family, some friends still there. Bless them. And it's home, do you know what I mean? It's home. Even when I go back, I still feel a bit of a fondness to the place, but it's a dump. It's an absolute dump. You walk through the town centre like many towns and cities in the UK now, and it's like a zombie apocalypse. Dreadful. Decades of decline. I mean, you could argue the whole of the UK outside of London has had decades of decline, but the town I grew up in, really bad. So I didn't have any advantages, and I didn't have any guidance, I didn't have any help, I didn't have any encouragement or words of wisdom or do this or do that, or I didn't have no mum or dad's business to take over or anything like that. It was just me trying to figure stuff out. And figure stuff out I did. Now, did I make every step correct? No. I screwed lots up. I wasted lots of time. I would say over the last 25 years-ish of me being in business online, that's when I started about 25 years ago, I would say I probably acted like I was retired for about 15 of them, on and off over the years. So I would do spare time work. So when I was making anyway, I probably skipped ahead a little bit, but started making a bunch of money. The 300, 400 quid a week became 200, 300 a day. And then at the height of it in my 20s, I think maybe on good days I was making 2k a day. Passive, consistent. Again, it's hard to remember. It won't have been every day like that, but like imagine going to bed and you wake up $2,000 richer, and then the next day you wake up $2,000 richer, you know? And then not every day was like that, but maybe one day it'd be 700 quid, and maybe the next day it'd be 1,200 quid, maybe the next day it'd be 350 quid, but then maybe the next day it'd be 1,500 quid. Do you know what I mean? It was good money, like drug dealer money, but without the crime. It was crazy. Little old me in a working class town, hustling on the internet, where it's obvious to everyone that the place to be is the internet now, but it wasn't back then when I started out. Anyway, I evolved with it, bought myself a nightclub with some of my money, bought a Ferrari, bought an Audi R8, bought a BMW i8, bought an X5, bought a Lotus Elise, Honda Civic Type R, lots of different cars, did a lot of travelling, Caribbean, loads of Caribbean cruises. I'm a bit of a cruisy. Some Southeast Asia backpacking trips, plenty of Disney Worlds, some south of France's and Dubai. I've been coming to Dubai for the last 13 years, now I live here. Anyway, my point is, my life very slowly really turned around. For a bunch of reasons, but one of them necessity, because what else was I going to do? And what I've done is I've just tried to do the best with what I've got, mostly running all of my businesses as lifestyle businesses. So I've never been like got Elon Musk's ambition to land on Mars or do anything huge. I never expected to be a billionaire. Don't really want to be a billionaire. If I could press a button, of course I would be a billionaire. But am I willing to sacrifice everything that I would have had to sacrifice to become a billionaire? No. If I was willing to do, I'd have done it. No, I definitely run everything as a lifestyle business. Think retiree in his late 20s. That's what I was like. For years, I didn't do anything. Maybe 2 minutes a day just checking how much money I'd made. That was about it. For years. You know, there's been some years since I've been like that too. You know, I've not had that strong financial influence around me. Like a lot of Americans are just like push. I've never really been like that. I've just pushed until I got comfortable and then kind of let it do its thing, and then eventually it slows down or stops doing its thing. But that can take 5-10 years. You know, so if I can get 5 years of living like a retired person, I probably wasted a lot of that time really. But if I can get 5 years or 10 years out of like earning good money and not having to do that much for it, that's kind of what I've ended up plumping for. But I can't say I've lived an amazingly fulfilling life and used the time to its best. I probably haven't. I probably wasted it. I know for many years I didn't even go abroad. I had one bad holiday and didn't want to go again. I went skiing once with Ollie years ago now. No, not once, I've been skiing a bunch of times, but the last time I went skiing, I love skiing. The last time I went skiing, I had a shit trip, so I never been again. You know, one skiing trip, and it weren't that bad. I don't know, the snow was a bit rough. I don't know, my skis were a bit crap. The sunshine didn't come out. I don't know. So we didn't go again. It's like mad because I really enjoyed it, and one day I'll probably be too old to even be able to do it. I mean, the way the world's going, who knows if we'll even be allowed to do it. So anyway, I can't say I am Elon Musk or Richard Branson or whatever. I'm not some super duper entrepreneur, but am I a normal guy with no advantages in life? Quite the opposite. That's just tried his best to just break free of the chains that society or I don't know, my ancestors, I don't know, put on me. And I know there's poorer people than me. It could have been 10 times worse. I was brought up with loads of love and all that stuff. I had loads of mates. I was very popular on the estate. I used to enjoy hanging out on the estate. I I'm not saying you've got to get the violins out for me. I've enjoyed large portions of my life chasing the girls and had more success than I deserve, let me tell you. I'm no stud either, but like, Ollie's 14 years younger than me, and she's 14 times more attractive than me, but she's been mine for 13 years, you know? So when I've needed it, I've obviously managed to turn on the charm. Someone watching this might be going, no, she's just with you for your money. It's not that. Hey, she lives a good life. She can get to be mama and she don't have to work because of me and my money, and I'm happy to do that for her. But like, she's not showered with gold, just like I don't shower myself with gold. You know, I live a modest life. I prefer the idea of investing. It's like if I make 20 grand, like I might spend $1,000 of it on, I won't, I'll spend probably 200 quid, 300 quid of that 20 grand on treats at a push. And then the rest of it will get invested or spent on bills, you know? Same with the next 20 grand and the next 20 grand after that. So anyway, this video, I don't really make these videos for anybody else. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like, I don't really optimize them for YouTube. I don't try and make the thumbnails nice, or I don't try and make the titles or the keywords or the tags, or I don't do any of this stuff that I get told to do by blooming outsourcers that email me 10 times a week saying, oh, let me do your thumbnails. Your thumbnails are not that good. And the ones that are okay, you're too expensive. I'm not paying $40 for a thumbnail from bloody somebody that lives in India when, like, you could do it for $2 and then I'd snap your hand off. I ain't paying you $40. I've been outsourcing to the Philippines for, I don't know, over 15 years. Those guys are on $3, $4, $5 an hour. What, I'm going to pay you $40 for your blooming, your thumbnail in the age of AI? No. But I still get somebody else with an Indian name message me every other day saying, I want to do thumbnails for you, and acting like there's some kind of YouTube SEO guru. Like, I don't care about that. I make these videos mostly because I enjoy it. I enjoy just ranting. Like, this is therapeutic for me. I used to enjoy making Facebook group posts when I owned a rather large Facebook group, and I maintained that audience. I would write posts in the group, and it would be very therapeutic for me. Just like when I was a teenager and I'd get upset, I'd write poetry. I've got some bitter, twisted, really wonky poetry from when I was a teenager. I thought it was great at the time, but reading it back, it's like really bad. And some of it is like, I don't know, I was clearly not an okay teenager at times, but it was my medicine. And this is a little bit like my medicine too. So I'd make these videos even if nobody watches. And to be fair, I only get 100 or 200 views on a video anyway. There ain't that many people watching, you know? If I was optimizing it for maximum reach, I would not be sitting with my iPhone unlit on my balcony rambling on about randomness when nobody's listening. Anyway, let me get to a point so there is some value in this. I've had to figure things out, and in doing so, I've tried most business models there is on the internet over the last 25 years. I've tried most of them. Let me try and think. I'm just going to throw some out there so you get an idea of the stuff I've tried. So, affiliate marketing, SEO, that's more skill set, but SEO focused driving of traffic to offers. Obviously I learned copywriting, again, that's a skill. Communities, creating communities and monetizing them. Done a lot of that for a very long time, on and off. Dropshipping, Amazon, private label and online arbitrage, print on demand, ebooks, courses, coaching, list goes on. Little services, little service-based businesses, all kinds of stuff. I've done all kinds of stuff, and there is a standout business model that stands head and shoulders above the rest of them right now, and the gurus are starting to get in on it. Because I just saw Replit founder, AI SaaS is what I'm talking about. I saw the Replit founder, so that Replit's the AI agent I use and my coaching clients use to build software as a service with just AI and AI prompts, natural language, no tech. I saw the Replit founder, so the guy that owns and started Replit, with Alex Hormozy, arguably the most popular internet marketer on the internet right now. Like, there's no one hotter than Alex Hormozy. He just did that $100 million launch, and there I am looking on screen. I didn't watch it because I'm not that interested, but it was Replit founder and Alex Hormozy. AI SaaS is going mainstream. Thing is, there's going to be a lot of people jump into this space and start teaching it that don't know their head from their arse. I've made over $12 million in software as a service when you actually had to pay people to do it. Again, lifestyle business. I'm not saying I slogged. I do 2-3 hours a month on those businesses, but I've done over $12 million in software as a service, $10 million in other stuff before that, but I've been in the trenches. I know what it takes to build software as a service and create a product and create a sales process, create a marketing process, the whole shebang. I've done it multiple times. If you look on Companies House, I've got like something like 10 software companies, and again, I don't do that much actively in those companies nowadays. I haven't for years. Again, going back to my earlier story, whereby I kind of get comfortable and then foot comes off the gas. That's just me. But I got a lot of experience in that space, and there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of noise in this space coming. And all I can say is, look, my coaching clients are months ahead because they listen to me. Even now, it's early days, but give it 2-3 years, the window of golden opportunity for building your own AI SaaS business and being ahead of everybody else, that will have closed. Like, just my one-to-one coaching clients, they are like experts with Replit and for want of a better word, vibe coding. They're like experts now because they've been at it for months. They've been like building software in the trenches for months. They're experts at it. You're gonna get some kids, you're gonna get all the guru kids coming on and making out they've built an app in 10 minutes and it's made them 50 grand, and I mean, they'll be lying. Some of them will be lying, let's face it, they're gonna be lying. But anyway, I'm not trying to guru bash. I'm not here for that. All I'm trying to say is, look, I've been doing this 25 years. I've been observing, I've been participating, I've been walking the walk in many different business models, and let me tell you this right now. This is the biggest opportunity that I have ever seen as an internet marketer for normal people. Like, non-technical, non-entrepreneurial, not much money, no experience, normal everyday people to absolutely get, and excuse my French, enrich. See how self-censored there? To get rich, whatever that looks like to you. You define rich, you can do it with software as a service. It's such a powerful business model. Faceless, single person, remotely run, sticky, compounding recurring revenue. And now you can build it with AI and AI agents for about $200 or $300 all in. That's a few months subscription of Replit and a few months subscription of Claude Code. A few $100 all in. And you have something that could make you $20,000 a month profit, because you ain't got no dev costs. You might have a little bit of API costs, you might have a little bit of server costs, but it's going to be a fraction of your revenue, a fraction, tiny fraction, single digits. So it's like you've got a business model now that's emerging for normal people, and I'm a person of the people, in that when I see somebody that's stuck in a job they hate, they don't have to be poor like I was. When I see somebody with dreams of a better life, stuck in a job they hate or a business that sucks or seen better days, worried about how they're going to pay the next bills, worried about how they're going to take the kids on holiday or what they're going to buy them for Christmas, when I see that, I just want to help my younger self. I don't want to cry or well up, but I just want to help my younger self. I just want to grab them and say the trajectory you're on doesn't lead anywhere good. You need to make decisions of a you in the future, the decisions that you would make in the future had your dreams come true, not the decisions that have kept you where you are. And I see this, I see normal people get into the trap, either the shiny object in chasing from one thing to the next, trading systems, crypto, this, that, and they never stick at anything, they never give it their all. Look, this is the first business model that has come along in decades that is brand spanking new and accessible to you as an everyday person. Me growing up, me as a 20-year-old, me as a 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old, or you as a 30-year-old or 35-year-old or a 45-year-old or whatever age you are, if you're not living the life you've always wanted, nobody's coming to save you. But this business model might. This business model just might. It's the best thing that has come along for normal people in decades. Everyday people like me 25 years ago that didn't really know what he was doing, just know he needed to do something to escape the situation. I know the pain. I'll never forget it. I grew up hearing, no, you can't have this, you can't have that, no, we can't do this, no, we can't go there, we can't afford it. Seared into me. It'll never leave me. I've been poor, and I've been what most people would define as rich. And I know which is better. It's better to be rich, for sure. But it doesn't make you happy. I'm not saying all that. It's a different debate for another time. But I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I know what it's like to not have anything. I know what it's like to be in your situation if you're struggling financially. I know what it's like. And I can tell you right now, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. But this business model might. Software as a service could be a more reliable income stream for you. Very micro niched down. You can't do something broad. Like, broad's not going to work, but you can find a real micro niche and you could make yourself a 20, 30, 40, 50K a month business within 12 months. I'm not saying you will, I'm not, earnings disclaimer, I like to throw that around a lot. I'm not saying you will. It's not investment advice. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not saying you'll make 20K a month, but I tell you right now, are you likely to in your current trajectory with what you're doing now? You're going to make 20K a month doing what you're doing? If the answer's no, then why not in your spare time? You only need about 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week at maximum. Why not start trying to build yourself a software as a service business? All the reasons that would stop you before are gone. Oh, I'm not very technical. You don't need to be. I don't know how to code. You don't need to know how. The AI and the AI agents do all that stuff now. I don't have an idea. Well, bloody think of one then. I've got videos on that. Or book a call. There's a link. Book a call. Let's chat. Let's try and get you an idea. But you just come up with an idea in a micro niche. Ideally, it's already got some competition in it, so you already know that there's money being spent there. Clone the core feature set, add a USP, take it to market a little bit cheaper than everyone else. Knock on some doors, make some noise. I don't mean physically knock on doors. I just mean make some noise. Put yourself out there. Put your software out there, and see what you can build. What if you do it and you spend a month or two building some software using AI, which is really fun. It's addictive and problem solving rolled into one. Less problem solving since I've been using it this time. Like in the last few days I've been using it and it barely gets anything wrong. It's scary. A few months ago it would get things wrong quite a lot, but you could still get there, and it was really fun and sticky because of it. But like, what if you just spend a month or two building some software and it's actually quite good, and it's in an underserved micro niche with a real strong pain or problem? Your ideal customer profile or ICP or your customer avatar has got this problem that your software solves. You're not trying to create self-driving cars or autonomous robots or self-landing rockets. Leave that for Elon Musk. You're trying to find a group of people online that have the same pain, problem that you can solve with your software. They'll pay you a subscription fee every month to solve it for them. You don't have to deliver anything. You don't have to deal with no customers. They'll subscribe overnight. While you sleep and you wake up, you've got 10 new subscriptions that came in, 10 new free trials, of which maybe 3, 4, 5 of them turn into paying customers in a month's time or 2 weeks' time or whatever. Why not give that business a shot? What have you got to lose? This business that's worth billions, hundreds of billions I think, but it's worth billions of dollars a year. This business, the software as a service business, can now be built by anyone using AI and AI agents. It's brand new as of really this year. The back end of this year really, or mid to back end of this year. You could do it a bit before that, but like I've seen it very clunky just a few months ago. So like right now it's as smooth as the process will ever be, and it's only going to get better and easier. But like, you can get first mover advantage in your micro niche. You know, say it takes you 6 months to get to 10k a month from today. Well, get started then, because in 6 months time you've got a chance of getting to 10k a month. But you know what you get to if you don't do it? 0, guaranteed. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. Your life's not going to change. Santa's not going to come this Christmas down your chimney, sit on your lap and give you $1 million. And if he did, you'd probably do something stupid with it and blow it all anyway. Because if it comes easy, it usually goes easy too. You've got to earn your money. But there's a window of time. I don't think it's forever. I don't think entrepreneurship's forever anymore. I think, without going off on too much of a tangent and getting too dystopian, I think in the semi-near future, I can't put a date on it, I think artificial superintelligence will be born. I hope it's 50 years from now, but I suspect it's a lot sooner than that. And then all bets are off. We don't know what life's like then. But I think before that, when AGI comes out, I think that life changes. I mean, you could argue AGI is already here, but life is going to change. Everything's going to change, and you can only hope it happens slower than I suspect it will. You've got a window to be in the haves and not the have-nots, because when you're in the have-nots, when the world changes, you're a victim of whatever state you happen to be a victim of. If you live in the UK under this current tyrannical government, the Labour government, Keir Starmer, two-tier Keir, if you live in the UK, imagine Starmer being in charge and the world changes, and now all of a sudden you don't even have the economic value you've got now. They're not interested in your tax money because you're a useless eater. And they're all provided for by AI and robotics that are the production workforce. You're now surplus to requirements. Imagine living in the UK. You think they're going to do right by you just because they can? Just because AI and robotics collapses, absolutely destroys the cost of goods and services, so things essentially become almost free. You think they're going to go, oh, things are almost free, let's give them a really nice lifestyle? Really? Do you want to risk that? You want to risk that them tyrants getting to decide your fate and your future? No, I think the answer is there's a window of time before the world changes significantly. Just like the internet that changed the world, this will change it 100 times more. Changes that you can't even imagine. Before that happens, there is a window of opportunity right now whereby you can get rich. Or even if you don't get rich, maybe you build a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50k a month business. You get to a 50k a month business and then go flip it. You might get I know a guy that sold his business for, I think it was 56 times monthly profit. Something like that, or 60 times monthly profit-ish, something like that. Well, imagine getting to 50k a month in 18 months time and then flipping it, or even let's say you just get 50 monthly profit. I don't want to do the maths on here, but it's a cool few million that. You diversify it, put it in some assets that you believe will be resilient in a world that's changed. I don't know what they are, but I think diversification is key. I ruminate, if that's the right word, on this regularly. But yeah, and you've got a window of time with the best business model I've seen in 25 years, and I've done them all, I've seen them all. It's the best one I've seen for normal people. It was always good for rich folk. 5 years ago, it was great for rich folk. 10 years ago, it was great for rich folk. Software as a service has looked after a lot of people really well. But now you can come along with natural language using the AI and the AI agent, and you can disrupt it as long as you're following the right plan, you know what you're doing, and you don't quit. You don't just start making pretty apps because they're fun. You actually follow it through, see it through, and build an actual business. What are you going to do in 2026? Same as what you're doing now? Head buried in the sand, assuming life will always go on. Maybe you're happy. If you're not, more reason to do something. But what are you going to do in 26? Because it's something you need to think about. Anyway, 43 minutes rant. If you want to build a software as a service business and you want help doing so, there's a link down below. Book a call, we'll chat. There's a video as well that tells you about it. That's on the same link. So work with Matt, book a call, and we can chat. Are you going to be a victim of whatever the future looks like? Maybe you don't even accept that the future's going to be very different. Or are you going to be a victor? Are you going to be a victim or a victor? That's quite good, isn't it? Only you decide. No one's coming to save you.